If your life suddenly feels messy, unstable, or like everything's pushing back, good. That means that you're not stuck anymore. That also means that you're becoming someone that your old life doesn't recognize. And one quote that I heard that stuck with me to this day is that disruption always follows good intentions. So if you've recently made a decision to grow, you better buckle up, because you better believe that everything and anything is going to try to test it. If you're new here, my name is Naisha Nicole and welcome to the channel. If you've seen my face before, you know that we are 100% locked in, so welcome back. And today we are going to dive into 5 ways to hold your power when disruption hits, because trust me, if you are in the midst of trying to grow, disruption will always follow good intentions. We were taught to believe that growth somehow should feel good, that if it's the right path, that it should feel aligned or peaceful or maybe even graceful. But here's the truth. Real growth disrupts. It breaks patterns. It stretches your nervous system. It ruins your tolerance for anything that's fake, anything that's misaligned, anything that forces you to shrink yourself. And especially for like high achieving women, for women like us, it's even trickier because we are so used to performing. We're so used to over delivering, and we're so used to keeping everything polished on the outside. So when the disruption starts, we somehow feel like we're losing control. But the important thing to remember is that you're not. What you're doing is reclaiming it. So let's clear this up right now. If you have been following my journey and you've been following any of my videos, you know that I am really big on setting boundaries and just doing things to improve your overall quality of life. So if you've recently set a boundary and someone pulled away, or you've chosen rest and felt guilty, or you've spoken up and it's been labeled as too much, or maybe even outgrown a friendship or outgrown a job or an identity that you were once proud of, that's not a red flag. That is a milestone. Your disruption is proof that your good intentions is working, because anything, and I mean anything, that you are becoming, that you are not right now, takes time. And that time requires tension. In order for you to become the person that you are supposed to be, or to live in whatever your purpose may be, that you are not doing right now, it will take time. It's not going to happen overnight. And that time will require tension. It will require tension, stretch, and realignment. And I'm going to go through 5 ways that you're going to hold on to your power when disruption hits. Because any time that you are in the season of growth, I promise you, disruption is going to hit. So remember these 5 things and write it down. Get out a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen and write these 5 things down. So the first thing that you're going to do is name what is dying. Name what's dying. You're not just changing habits. You're grieving identities. That's what you're doing. Stop pretending that somehow this is a to-do list, because it's not. It's a transformation. Name what version of you is being laid to rest, so to speak. If, it's the people pleaser in you, or if it's the overachiever, or if it's the woman who never says no, give it a name. Because if you name it, you need to thank her for everything thank her or him for everything that it has done for you. Then let it go. Then let it go. Number 2 is you're going to stop explaining your shift. Stop explaining it. Your growth, it doesn't need to be justified. It doesn't need to be justified to anyone. Your decision, it doesn't need to be, digestible for people. Because believe me, they're going to ask. It just is what it is. When people start seeing you, shift, they're going to be curious. They're going to want to know. It's kind of like when you start losing weight, when you start to prioritize your health, then you're going to get 1 or 2 reactions, maybe even 3. The first reaction is going to be, oh my gosh, you look like you're losing weight. And then they might say you look good, right? The second reaction is oh my gosh, you look like you're losing weight. Is everything okay? To imply that somehow you're sick. And the third reaction is, oh my gosh, you're losing weight. Oh, you must be doing something. Especially in this world today, it's you must be doing something. So the point I'm trying to make is the more you try to, make your evolution palatable, the more you dilute your power, the more you try to over-explain yourself or make things understandable to people, the more you're gonna slowly but surely strip away at your power. Let your actions confuse people. Just let it confuse people, because they're meant to be confused. They're meant to be confused. Your clarity is for you and only you. So I want you to remember that as you're navigating life and as you're going through your seasons of growth. Remember that as you gain more clarity, it's going to cause confusion to the people that's around you. And that's okay. Number 3 is build a boundary ritual. And I don't really like that word ritual, so I'm going to scratch that. Just build a boundary routine. Every week, I want you to ask yourself, what's drained you that you said yes to? Ask yourself that question. The second question I want you to ask yourself is, what gave you energy that you ignored? Ask yourself those 2 questions. I'm going to repeat it so you can write it down. What drained me that I said yes to? And what gave me energy that I ignored? I want you to ask yourself those 2 questions every single week. Then I want you to create a routine, like a boundary journal, or silent phone hours, or, saying, let me get back to you as your default. Don't take on people energy, because sometimes when you take on other people's energy, it can be draining for you. So don't do that. And the thing about it is that routine, it builds that rhythm that you're going to need. And the rhythm makes your boundary sustainable and not reactionary. That's the thing. So every morning that you get up, what do? You wash your face, take a shower, and brush your teeth. I don't know in what order, but you do those 3 things. And no one has to tell you to do those 3 things, right? It's automatic. You automatically do that. So why can't you automatically build a boundary routine? Because I promise you, once you have that routine, it will become second nature to you, and you'll automatically do it. And if you don't do it within your day, something's going to feel off, and then you'll default back to what that routine is, right? And number 4, which is probably my favorite, let it be awkward. Let it be awkward. Have you ever noticed that people act weird when things get awkward, right? The middle of becoming is always awkward. And that awkwardness creates an uncomfortable feeling, because you're not who you once were. You are not who you're becoming either. So you're somewhere in this middle weirdness, right? But that's okay, because you want to feel that, right? That's where that middleness is where most people quit. Have you ever noticed that? That weird middle awkwardness, that's where people generally quit doing whatever they're doing. But the crazy part about that is that middle awkwardness comes right before the ascension, right before you take off. and just ascend, that you hit that weird middle place. Like, have you ever heard when like different YouTubers, and I'm not gonna name anybody specific, but different YouTubers always say that they kind of got to this weird point. They got to this weird point with their channel, but they continued to produce videos, quality videos, right? And then all of a sudden it took off. And it seemed like they didn't have a clue, or they didn't know why it took off, but it just did. That to me is like that awkward stage, that middle stage. And that's where, like I said, a lot of people tend to quit. But don't. Let it be messy. Let it be messy. Let people talk. Let them talk. This is the part that no one posts about. Have you ever noticed? No one posts about this awkward phase. But I'm going to talk about it because, again, we're 100% locked in. And that's the part that makes you unstoppable. That's the part that gives you that oomph that you're going to need to handle different situations. And again, because we're locked in and we are a channel of honesty, I talk about it in my life. There's times where, there were moments when I was contemplating whether or not I was going to leave my job, where it just got extremely awkward. But I didn't let that awkwardness bother me. I let the awkwardness be what it is. And I sat in it. It's just like with this channel. I feel like on this channel, I went through this awkward stage of not really knowing. But I did not allow that not knowing to make me quit. I just kept going. And that's what you have to do when you get to that awkward stage. And that is okay. That's the part, like I said earlier, that will make you completely unstoppable if you can get over that hump. And number 5 is measure by alignment and not approval. You're so used to metrics. You're so used to using these metrics to gauge success, money, validation. But your new life is going to require you to have a new scoreboard. It just is. Am I honoring my truth today? That's what it's going to require you to answer. Am I choosing peace over performing? Am I still aligned even if I'm misunderstood? And I did a video, and I'll link it up here or somewhere around here, where I talked about when you are living in your purpose and you're doing the thing that you're supposed to do and you are 100% aligned, you will be misunderstood. It does not matter. People aren't going to understand what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing. And that is completely okay, because that's the new data that you need. That's the new power. Ask yourself those 3 things. Are you honoring, your truth? Are you choosing peace over performing? And, are you aligned even if you're misunderstood? So many people want to be pick-me's. So many people want to be the friendly person or be the likable person. So many people want to be those things that they get so far away from who they are and who they were meant to be. And I don't want that for you, because again, we are a channel of honesty and we're always going to stay locked in with each other. And that's not the reality that I want for you. And anything that is involving growth is going to suck. And I'm a Black woman, so I'm going to give you a prime example. If you are a Black woman and you decide that you want to go natural, right? And I've been through my natural journey. When you decide to go natural, you have to cut off portions of your hair that has the chemicals in it, that's not natural. right? Or if you decide to transition to dreads, there's always that ugly phase. It's the same thing with natural women. There's always that phase because you have to get rid of the portions of your hair that's not natural, right? There's always that phase that's not appealing. But if you focus so hard on that phase, the not appealing phase, if you allow your mind to focus on what that looks like rather than what your overall goal is, you'll never reach where you want to be, because you'll continue that same exact trait of getting to that awkward phase and stopping your whole entire life. Don't do that. The version of you that you're stepping into, she's not found. She's built. She's built through daily disruptions. She's built through steady boundaries. She's built through brutal honesty. She's built when you stop asking for permission, when you start resting without guilt, when you love yourself loud enough to outgrow the old lives. When you start loving yourself. And I promise you this. The discomfort is real. It's definitely real. So don't ignore it. But the woman on the other side, baby, she's gonna be worth it. And I promise you she will. And if this hit deep, don't scroll past it. Sit with it. Journal on it. And if you are really truly serious about protecting your power during the chaos of becoming, because you will have chaos when you are in the midst of becoming, subscribe to the channel, because this is a space for people who are done performing and who are ready to embody. And answer this question for me. What's the disruption that you're walking through right now? I want you to tell me in the comments. And I also want you to tell me who you are becoming because of it. I want you to let me know. Let's have a discussion on this. And I appreciate each and every last one of you guys. Like, you have no idea how much I appreciate you. I appreciate all of the love, and I appreciate you showing up for my videos when I do post a video. I just thank you guys so much. As always, I'll catch you in the next video. My name is Naisha Nicole. Peace.